is how we start. We do something cool right off the top. Play some music. Say, hey, that's what it is. That's how it does. You're saying this is your favorite Tom Petty song?
Oh, yeah, by far. I love a lot of them, but this one.
I didn't realize. I had no idea how many Tom Petty songs I actually liked until I'd seen that documentary.
Before or AD or BD?
Yeah.
AD?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's sad how much we tend to appreciate people more after they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
What is that about human nature? I guess it's human nature. You get all sentimental.
Well, sure, and especially when it's a shocking, very disruptive Kobe Bryant, all of a sudden out of nowhere. I mean, I was watching something this morning. James Corden, host of the Late Late Show, whatever that's called, beginning his show with oh my gosh, we're all upset about Kobe, but it's just that. It's human nature.
Joe Rogan. A couple of weeks ago, I told you he had Bill Maher on, and they got on about James Corden because he's overweight. You may have noticed.
Oh yeah.
In this whole fat shaming thing, there was some issue, and James Corden stepped out. I think Bill Maher had said something maybe, and James Corden stepped out with everybody's beautiful type thing. Right?
Yeah.
No, I know, but there's nothing wrong. Oh, there's another thing we got to talk about. But anyway, they were just saying it was a little bit bizarre. And Rogan says, yeah, especially with Gordon, he could probably lose that weight in 2 months.
Yeah, well,
I found that. By the way, it's not Weight Watchers anymore, right? You can't say that.
Oh, it's not?
It's WW. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Weight Watchers, you can't. Because nobody should have to watch their weight.
Nobody should.
No.
This is how we'll start today's show. Phil Hong, do it.
The following bloated episode of Humble and Fred Radio is brought to you by FYI Music News, The Retirement Sherpa, Gig Sky, The Chambers Plan, Palma Pasta, CDN Technologies, and our newest sponsor, Sticker You, where you can get your stickers on Queen Street or order anywhere in the world. If you'd like to talk to Humble and Fred, call 1-833-437-8465. That's 1-833-HF-STINK. And now from the worldwide headquarters of the Humble and Fred Show, here are Humble and Fred.
A little different today, Phil.
Whoa.
This is the legendary Humble and Fred Show, Canada's national morning show.
So you're not supposed to say anyone's fat anymore? You can't say that?
No, you know that. That took hold 3 or 4 years ago, the fat shaming thing. Everybody is beautiful, and which is fine. If you're good, if you're good in your skin, that's fantastic. But I don't know. I don't know what to say. Anyway, the exchange was quite comical because James Corden, wields quite a bit of power through that show, and now Carpool Karaoke. A lot of people know who he is, having never watched the show, right?
Yeah, I thought you and I had this conversation recently, but maybe it was Rachel and I. I said, isn't that strange? Because I was talking about how much I like that feature.
Right.
And I said to her, because I think I was watching an old one with Chris Martin of Coldplay, and I thought, this is brilliant. But I said, I've never seen his show. I've never ever seen the beginning of James Corden's show until this morning when I saw this Kobe thing. Yeah. But you were also going to say, oh, that's another thing. And then
that was it. With the Weight Watchers thing.
Yeah.
Like remember when Kentucky Fried Chicken went to KFC?
Yep.
That became their branding because fried chicken wasn't the best thing to be promoting, even though that's their product.
Even though that's all they do.
Well, Weight Watchers, really, that's all they do.
They watch weight.
But now, you're supposed to watch your weight.
I was watching your weight, and it's gone.
Don't you think that's a stretch, though?
I can't believe it.
How he look? All their stuff now is like WW. Have you seen that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and you got Oprah on the commercial and everything, right?
Yeah.
It's like she's riding
there it
her
is.
bike.
I just googled Weight Watchers Canada, and it came up WW.
Formerly Weight Watchers.
Wait, and then it says in brackets Weight Watchers.
Yeah.
Are we we really are.
Oh no, it's overboard.
We really are. I won't use the S word. but we're the crappiest generation of all time. Our parents went to war, and we can't use the word wait in a sentence. WW is World War.
I took whoa.
Not Weight Watchers.
The thing
Simpletons.
is, you can deny it if you want, like climate change, but
Wow.
being 20 pounds, 20, 30 pounds overweight, which isn't horrible, it's still not good for your health. That's an established fact.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So this whole thing about, and again, if that's good for you and that's the way you want to live, no problem. But don't criticize me for recognizing that your weight could be a problem, health-wise, And I don't mean you directly. I'm just saying if we come out and say, hey, man, that guy's fat, he should lose some weight. It's like, well, yeah, you should lose some weight.
Yeah, I don't know about like coming out and saying somebody else should lose some weight is none of my business. But coming out and saying I'm overweight,
yes,
I have a weight issue,
right.
I'm going to Weight Watchers. That shouldn't trigger you because you heard this word weight.
But if you're 30 pounds overweight and I love you, I'm concerned for you. I'm going to say, hey, buddy, you should lose some weight.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying as a marketing thing, it just seems funny that you get triggered by the word weight, but you have weight on you.
Right.
Your weight is a problem.
Well, I think it's the Watchers part.
Yes.
Don't look.
Yeah. It's like Weight Watchers. Whoa, were you watching my weight?
Weight onlookers?
That's my business, don't you?
Ooh.
If I want to be big and gooey, that's my decision.
I'm
It's funny you
watching
mentioned
me.
that. Oh, hold on a second. Sean Sargent, everybody.
My mom goes to Weight Watchers.
Now.
Sorry, Mom. To
Don't
throw you
mom
under the bus
shame.
here. But no, like my mom's super fit and healthy, and this is kind of her point is, I can't stand going there. It's 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and everyone's complaining about what they're eating and what they're exercising. And come on, like I do it, you could do it. And I'm a 60. Sorry to throw you under the bus again, Mom, but
It's Mom Watchers.
Oh, she's an old broad, is she?
Oh boy.
yeah, if she can do it, she can look after herself.
You can't say weight, but old broad's in play. Thanks, Fred.
Apparently.
Thanks.
Well, she's over 60.
Thanks, Harry Potter.
Age Watchers.
I don't know if you guys are watching us on Facebook Live this morning or Twitch, but Fred's got his Harry Potter shirt on. I love that. You're a wizard, Freddie.
Hermione.
See,
Hermione.
I've never seen or read Harry Potter. How's
It's too
that?
bad. I will tell you, your kids, your grandchildren are in the sweet spot for Harry Potter.
Maybe I'll get on that.
I want to get back to KFC, though. It's funny. Excuse me.
So funny. It's amazing.
It's so
how
funny.
Everything's funny on
But
the show.
it's interesting that Tim Hortons has a Beyond Meat option.
Yes.
A&W does. McDonald's is
Working
part of
on
that,
it.
working on it.
Yep.
But there's old KFC over here on the left going, no, we're fine. We're just going to continue to deep fry stuff in grease.
Take it or leave it.
We're going to serve it to you in a box, and that's what we do. There's not going to be any Beyond Chicken anytime soon.
There's some weight in this
We're
box.
just deep frying stuff because we like it, and we know you do too.
We already gave you 11 herbs and spices.
We got 11. We got the 12th secret ingredient, just grease. I just love that. KFC's like, nah, we're fine over here. We're just gonna grease it up. You know what I don't like about KFC?
What is
It's
that?
the little macaroni salad.
Yeah, never been.
Never
Coleslaw.
been.
The coleslaw I love.
Not bad. Yeah.
But the macaroni salad underperforms.
I heard too. It sounded weird the other day. Beyond meatballs. Now, when meat is actually the name of the product, like a meatball, like a hamburger is a hamburger, but a meatball, and now it's Beyond Meatball. It's just to me. So what are they exactly? But you still call it a meatball.
I know.
Beyond meat.
In a
Meatball.
ball.
Beyond meat meatball.
Yeah.
Beyond meatball.
Ball.
Yeah, I think one of the sub places is selling a Beyond Meat meatball sandwich.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
Martha
that's
Stewart's
where
in
he's-
that commercial.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's bizarre
Beyond
to
the
me.
meat.
It's like I
Just
prune
call
these
it something
meatballs.
else.
It's funny, though. It seemed like the fall of 2019, that was when we were really all focused on the Beyond Meat, revolution. It seems to have died down a tad. I don't hear people referencing it as much in this new year as we were at the end of the last one.
Well, it was interesting at the Consumer Electronics Show this year. Most of the products were food and smart proteins and vegetables that are meat.
Well,
meat that's vegetables.
I've read the ingredients for some of this Beyond Meat stuff. It belongs in an electronics show.
That's true. That's true.
Holy cow!
I know people seem to focus on that. Like, what did
'Cause
you?
it's fun.
Well, I know exactly. What do you people expect?
I don't know.
Most people think, well, what it should be is you just grind up some kale into a ball and you think that's a meatball.
well,
it's not.
No, I know.
It's got sorghum in it. Or
No,
whatever.
no,
That's
I know.
just sorghum.
Xanthan gum.
No.
Xanthan gum.
That's a great point because you're right, because Beyond Meat and it's supposed to not be meat. I would expect to look at the ingredients and say mushed up plant.
Exactly.
That's it.
But but no one ever does that with meat. No one ever says, look at the ingredients of meat. That's got nothing but preservatives and sulfates and nitrates.
Yeah, but it's not presented as a healthy alternative. Meat.
No.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's what people focus on. They go, you seen the ingredients of this Beyond Meat? That'll kill you. Yeah, well, so is the ingredients in pepperettes.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Look at a bottle of ketchup.
Which, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
how man love.
Oh, of course.
I could eat an entire package of pepperettes right now.
Can't go beyond that.
How often do you eat pepperettes? Like I
Almost
very
never,
rarely eat processed
More than you,
meat.
probably.
Yeah, probably.
Just because I love it.
Yeah. And a lot of stuff that comes into my house, it's a share thing, right? So Delise would never eat pepperettes, so I never buy them. But and on and on and on. But
I've been told by GFR that I should probably cut down on my nitrate. You know, the problem is when I go to Palma Pasta, I pick up a few of those beautiful salamis and those things. And you know, the way they're processed, the way you preserve them is with salt. That's
Right.
how that was original recipe. And the stuff at Palma is very natural and it's, you know, cured. But you still, to preserve meat, you need to do something to it. And I eat so much of it, it's hard to stop. But for a man of my age, you probably shouldn't have all that salt. And did you tell me, too, that soda water was salty?
I don't know.
I
Did
got to stop. Yeah, no, somebody told
It's
me that.
technically an acid because you're putting carbon dioxide.
That's why I just drink sparkling water.
Oh, but that's still bubbly though.
Yeah, but it's not. There's a difference between like Perrier and soda water.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm
Soda
drinking-
water is salty. Perrier is not. It
Like-
might be
Oh, okay, good.
negligible. Yeah,
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You can get a low sodium version, so it's fine.
But anyway, so you can't say it's crazy. I'm looking at WW in brackets Weight Watchers corporate office. They've taken the word weight out of what they do. That we're doomed. We're doomed.
I know there's just no end to it. And the thing is, we're all adults. We know what they mean. We know you shouldn't hurt people's feelings,
Sure.
but let's not be ridiculous.
so their
It's
website.
not called your fat watchers.
No, I know.
Hey, fatty face watchers. It's not called
No, I know.
tubagoo watchers.
Tubagoo.
It's not called blubber watchers. It's weight watchers. If you're overweight, you need to lose weight. Not W's.
Which is a scientifically proven health hazard.
That's right.
So,
Wow.
well, then again, you don't make fun of somebody with cancer either. So I see it, I guess.
Cancer walkers.
Wait a minute. What's that? You don't,
You
what
don't
do
make fun of people with
you
cancer.
don't?
So I guess you don't. I get it now. Oh, I get it. Right.
Man, I've this is a brand new concept to me. This whole WW world. I'm on their website now. It's insane.
Well, you said it at the beginning. I was the same way. When I first heard that, I did not believe
I
it.
thought you were doing a bit.
And then I researched it, like you are now.
I'm researching.
And it was true. It's like, really?
Wow.
Yep.
New my WW for a limited time. You notice the people in these ads look like. First of all, they're beautiful. These two women, and they don't look like they either needed to lose weight or who knows. Who knows?
Well,
how
that's
what
the
they-
after.
yeah,
They
that's the
never
after.
show. Hey, you're not going to show the before when you're trying to
It's
sell a
not
product.
called Goo Watchers.
Goo watchers.
All right, let's see. Let's see what Dan Duran has to say about this.
Whoa.
Dan's got quite a strict position on overweight people.
Dan, what's your position
Yes.
on overweight people?
Yeah.
What do you mean my position? I think
Or
people who are
OWs,
over.
as we
You
call
don't
them
seem
now.
to have a lot of tolerance for overweight people. I've noticed.
Oh, he's
Have you noticed that?
intolerant. Yeah, he's
I don't-
intolerant.
I'm sorry. I put him on the spot.
Dan,
Yeah.
I've just found out about 8 minutes ago that Weight Watchers doesn't call themselves Weight Watchers anymore because they don't want to offend people with weight problems. So they call themselves WW. So their website's www.ww.
.w.
No.
Don't say wait. So I've known Dan a long time. I didn't know that you hate on fat people.
I never said that.
Oh, what? What?
Oh, really?
Poor Dad.
Oh.
It's sad. He doesn't know what to say. What we're saying is true, but he doesn't know what to say.
Dan Duran's slogan: "Don't hate the weight." Daniel.
So weight's a trigger word now?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Oh.
Like that's what I just said to Fred. Our parents went to World War II. You know that WW. But we can't have the word weight in a sentence because we're so precious.
Wow.
We're the weakest. We are the weakest generation of all time.
And and you know that before this, it's that the old adage: where does it end? Well, this is another. Like if now this, like what's next?
I don't know.
You know, we're all gonna. You know what's that show where you can't talk or they'll kill you? There's something.
I think it's called if you talk, we'll kill you.
The whole world's going to be like that soon.
Yeah.
The whole population, everyone's going to walk around and not open their mouth, not say a word.
What show is he talking about?
Other.
Handmaid's Tale or something?
No, there's some other thing. They're on an island or something, then that you can't make a noise. Or if you do, they'll kill you.
Hey, Dan.
So I can imagine the Weight Watchers ad agency meeting where they were like thinking of all this branding stuff and the focus groups and how they actually arrived at that situation. It must have been a very interesting meeting.
No, that's a great point. It's like, okay, we're here today to talk about our client, Weight Watchers. Here's our challenges, folks. They don't want to use the word weight anymore. What? Yeah, we're so woke, we're not using weight anymore. Let me tell you a little quick story, fellas, about how weak our generation is. You know, it wasn't until about the 1990s into the early 2000s, and now, of course, it's rampant. You know, they call it CTS, carpal tunnel syndrome.
Right.
Yes.
Now, here's just a quick anecdote. Until the 1990s, and of course we all accept as a society that people started getting carpal tunnel because we were, typing on computers.
Right.
Oh my God, we're typing all day. Well, for like 100 years before, people were typing on these, manual typewriters for generations, and nobody complained about repetitive stress injury until it became a thing that it became part of the consciousness.
Well, they suffered in silence.
But Freddie, it's what they call a psychosomatic.
Yeah. Okay.
Disorder.
And it's not that you don't actually feel pain.
Right.
It's just that all of a sudden you go, oh well, I guess I have what everyone else has. But we used to be on these. You and I both. Well, Dan as well. When we first started in radio, we were using manual typewriters. And I used them all the time.
Yeah.
You did every day.
Yeah.
I never had a problem.
I never in my life used an electric typewriter. I always preferred the manual.
But that's a great example of our generation. It's like, it's the same way that all of a sudden, after a million years of peanut butter tolerance, all of a sudden we can't have peanut butter.
Yeah.
And now we can't use the word weight because it affects us.
No, I
like the IBM electric typewriter, though. That was good. Did you have one of those?
Yeah. Dan, you remember in our office in Calgary? I remember bringing home our first electric typewriter. We thought we were pretty fancy.
Was awesome.
My mom did that for a living, and she had the electric typewriter where it was just a ball with all the letters on it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's electric. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that what that is?
June,
Okay.
June never had CTS. She never had carpal tunnel syndrome.
No.
Because nobody did. Anyway. You can tell I've been reading some new books.
By the way, that thing I was referring to was a movie called A Quiet Place.
Oh, yes. I like that movie.
A horror.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good movie.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh.
So no one talked about being fat either.
No. Well, nobody talked at all, right?
Yeah.
And that's what our whole society is going to be.
That's right.
The whole world's going to be a quiet place. Don't open your mouth, you'll be in trouble.
So, Dan, if you could just put aside your hatred of the fat for a second. and again, I had no idea, knowing you as I do. But again, you and Fred share a different...
he's told me many fat stories over a scotch at the fire.
So, but how does that come up? You know what, Fred? I hate the fat. What is...
Hashtag...
What's it all about?
You know what, Fred? Change the subject.
Yeah.
Fred, have I ever told you?
That's right. Anyways, leaving Trudeau for a moment, have I mentioned that fat people annoy me? Well, actually,
do you know fat people, Fred, are warming the earth? Did you know that?
We have a friend,
Yeah.
Dan and I have a friend who once said the sentence, the following sentence, and I quote, "All fat people should be put on an island."
See ya.
Oh, that's awful. Hey,
Did you ever hear him say that, Dan?
Yeah.
All fat people.
He's
he
changed
said.
his ways,
Oh, he's
though.
changed his ways now because he's a bit fat.
and of course, this whole segment has just been for comedic purpose.
That's right.
We don't really feel this way. We love
All people.
all people, all shapes and sizes.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
There's room on this planet
Yeah.
for one and all. Mm-hmm. And this previous thing has just been for, as Fred said, comedic
That's right.
purposes, or whatever whatever passes for comedic purposes.
Someone's at a typewriter right now writing, aren't they?
Dan Duran hates fat people. Fat people hate Dan Duran.
Oh, come on.
Dan Duran hates fat people. Dan Duran hates fat people. Fat people hate Dan Duran.
I'm Dan Duran, and I hate fat people.
He's not like that.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Oh, I know
I've
he
been
hates
so
this.
mischaracterized this morning.
You know, when you were doing...
being so mischaracterized.
You know, when Dan was doing the morning show with Linda Cash, they didn't talk like this. No.
They did not.
Dan Duran. Well, listen. Let's just move on to the weather if we can.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Another mild or just a little bit warmer than normal kind of day coming our way. The next couple of days is going to be the exact same thing, warming up into the weekend a little bit. And there's another possibility of a tiny bit of a storm coming through on Saturday and Sunday, more so on Sunday. But that the forecasting models are all over the place with a Bermuda low that's coming up from the east, and it's sort of redirecting a storm. So it probably is going to miss us, but maybe catch the East Coast a little bit north.
I'll tell you what's not low in Bermuda is the Humble and Fred Radio.com podcast. I'm looking at the podcast charts, and from our peak in Bermuda, we were the 13th ranked podcast in Bermuda. But now we just went down to, I think, 72nd, but, we're doing all right. Just want you to know we're huge in Bermuda.
I'd love to know what caused that pop. What insignificant little thing can cause that? Because that's not a very big population.
No.
So as I said, that could be like a bunch of guys on a golf trip.
Pretty much.
Downloading the podcast.
I think we really we need to do some work with our friends in Belize because we're 114 in Belize.
Maybe we mentioned them and they don't like that.
I Belize.
I can fly.
Dan.
There's a lot of untapped possibilities for you guys in those countries.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of advertising possibilities. You should be checking that out.
Dan Duran in the house tonight and tomorrow. He'll be live on our show. We can maybe, go do a deep dive, as they say. I love when people say that. I'm going to do a deep dive. Are you? Let's get into it.
Yeah, you hear that quite often. That took the place of Drill Down.
Did it?
Yeah.
Is Drill
Drill Down was very, very popular for a while, and then Deep Dive seemed to usurp it.
What happened? Do you think Drill Down was between Unpack and Deep Dive?
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah.
I'm going to unpack a deep dive.
After processing.
Maybe tomorrow we could just do a deep dive with Dan Duran and what his solutions for the aging and fat population is.
Let's unpack that a little bit.
How do you feel about the elderly, Dan? Hope you're okay with us.
Old and fat. Old and fat.
Phil. Old and fat. Old and fat.
Oh, we're immature.
Oh, man.
Whoa.
Look what we've done to our boy Phil.
Oh,
Phil's on fire.
Look at the way we've tainted our boy
Did somebody
Phil.
give Phil some edibles? Because he seems a bit out of sorts today.
everyone says I've already got edibles. Oy, oy, oy.
All right.
What's coming up on the show, just so I know?
Oh, that's a really good point.
Like you
actually.
care.
No, he just wants to get this off the subject of how he doesn't like the overweight. Terry Donnelly from Hill Street Brewing is going to be in again, talk about the cannabis industry, where it's at, and how the world, actually speaking of edibles, and now the government's made this part of the cannabis community illegal. We'll talk to him about that, Dan, to your question. And Misha Barnes, or I think it's Misha, isn't it? Yeah. We've had him on the show. Misha, formerly of the Nylons. We had to reschedule. He'll be in talking about his new music. And Dan Duran, look forward to seeing you later. Okay, pal?
All right, on.
Okay, brother.
Okay, brother Dan. Later. All right, he's did not like that.
No. He did not.
I mean, he'll go with that, but he didn't like it.
No.
We're so happy to have you all with us live in Ontario. You know, not that we have to be, but we are. And, of course, you can check us out at humbleandfredradio.com. It's Humble and Fred Radio. Yeah, we're still doing a show. A lot of people on social media have been asking us to save the edge. That's a radio station we used to work at. And unfortunately for all of you people, we will not be doing that. Somebody else will save the edge. But it has been a very nice, heartfelt, I guess. It's nice to know people still remember.
Oh, that's very sweet.
It is.
We threw the Edge of Life Preserver and they ignored it.
That's right. They will continue to drown.
They chose another one.
Yeah.
Well,
they chose a bigger one. Anyway.
Yeah, check out our Twitter feed if you want to see the letter that we wrote to the Edge. And again, it was a bit. That's what we used to do on radio. And ruffled some feathers, but we're here. And happy to have you along. At 8 o'clock, we're going to talk the sort of inside the cannabis industry. A lot of people hearing lots about that industry. How is it doing as a sector, as an investment? What's going on with now that edibles and a whole other section of cannabis has been legalized? We'll see what Terry Donnelly has to say. He's our buddy from Hill Street Brewing Company. And then Misha, I'm going to say Misha Barnes.
I thought it was Micah.
Micah?
Mika.
Mm-hmm. Well, the guy from the Nylons is coming back to our show.
Research it.
Somebody research how you pronounce his name. Where's our research department?
Well, he was here last time, and we did mention that.
It was Micah?
Mika.
Well, he would remember. Phil's our research.
Well,
You know, some people Google stuff. We just fill it.
He taught us how to
fill
sing
it.
last time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so hong it. Google. Phil hong it.
I don't remember any of that.
No, me neither.
All right, Chambers of Commerce Group Insurance Plan, chamberplan.ca is where to go if you have a small business, say 1 to 100 people. This is for you because 30,000 Canadian businesses have gotten together and it's strengthened numbers. They've created the Chamber Plan. It's great. Go get a free quote. Find out how your small business can be part of this. Again, chamberplan.ca, health insurance, dental insurance. The teledoc thing is fantastic. 24/7, man. You have contact with the doctor without even leaving your home, okay? Figure that. It's fantastic. Chamberplan.ca, Chambers of Commerce Group Insurance Plan. It's good for your small business.
Turnkey vacation rentals. Not your typical Airbnb. It's an exceptional home that you can rent too. Go to humbleandfredradio.com. Click on the link and use promo code OWNER15 to get 15% off this amazing property. 4-time winners of Travel Weekly's Magellan Award for Vacation Rental Hospitality. This is the kind of assurance you need when using turnkey vacation rentals. This home, by the way, is unbelievable. It's nestled in a cove surrounded by the scenic Santa Rosa Mountains. It's only a stone's throw away from the famous Coachella Valley Music and Arts Festival. The area is famous for golf, tennis, art shows. Yeah, we're going to an art show, by the way.
Excellent.
Yeah,
when you're down there?
Yeah, we're going to. It's kind of cool. Rachel's taking me. Apparently, they do this once a year in Palm Springs, where they open up the old Stars homes for a tour.
Oh, get out!
Like all these mid-century Rat Pack homes.
Oh, because Lucy and Desi had a home in Palm Springs. I drove by it.
So this is what we're doing. We're there. She said, because she's very good on the research.
Right.
And she found this. I guess it's an art thing, but you get to go tour the homes of these old.
Actually, go in them?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh. Because when I was there, again, I have a love affair with Lucille Ball. So when I was in Palm Springs, I found out that her and Desi had a house. So Delise and I jump in the car and I whip out there. And I thought I'll just get out and walk around the house and look at it. But it was surrounded by high bushes. Wouldn't you know?
High bush.
But it was interesting where their house was when they built it, say in the mid-'50s. Mm-hmm. It was like way out in the outskirts.
Right.
It was almost like a ranch, and now it's just part of like a dense subdivision.
Oh yes.
But I love that stuff. Even those cheesies. When I've been in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, whatever, taking those cheesy Stars home tours.
Yeah,
they're fun. Yeah, again, most of them are surrounded by bushes. You can't see them. But.
When young Spencer and I, who this Sunday is going to be 22, Phil.
Wow.
She and I went to L.A. together in 2015, and I said to her, this is going to be kind of cheesy, but would you like to do one of those tours? And she was like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we went together, Same thing, you go all around Beverly Hills. And then when she went back with her boyfriend and another friend a couple years later, she had them do it. Because it is fascinating.
Sure it is.
Because you get to see not only current stars, but as you say, Lucy's Home and, these guys that Fred and I grew up with that are,
The one house, the last time I was there, the one we could see pretty good was Nicolas Cage.
Oh, yeah?
And he had a big house right on sort of the edge of a cliff looking out over L.A. And
the biggest house we saw?
What was that?
By far the biggest house. Norman Lear's home.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. That was crazy big. You just wonder, and I'm not I don't often envy what really, really rich people have because it's so beyond anything you can imagine. But you often wonder, like, what must being that rich be like when you're so rich, that your home's like a small boutique hotel. Like, you just wander around kind of going, well, this is cool because...
Yeah, that's a good question because...
Do you even appreciate how rich you are anymore?
Yeah, what your mindset is because, like, even... We're empty nesters, and we think our house is too big. Mm-hmm. So if you're Norman Lear, obviously him and his wife are empty nesters, given his age. He's still alive? I don't even know.
Idea.
So
let's ask Phil.
Yeah, let's find out.
So if you have
Phil's like Ask
so you have a
Jeeves.
25,000 square foot home, like what do you do with that space?
I don't know, man.
I mean, weeks got to go by where you don't even enter
a wing
sections.
Oh yeah. Well,
is it a status thing?
Well, that must be with you. Like, well, listen. I joke about how big your place is, but this home I live in is 5 floors.
Yeah,
well, this is a big place.
This is huge. Like, when we're not working, other than to take the garbage out, like I almost never come into this part of the house. Mm-hmm. So, like on a week off or so, there's sections of this house I never go into. Imagine if you're in a 25,000 square, you have to like golf cart it to the dining room.
That's the value of this place where it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is being surrounded by condos, and all the condos nowadays are like a bedroom and a half, they call it.
Yep.
Or if it has a second bedroom, it doesn't even have a window in it.
A den.
And then right in the middle of all that is this place. This is like a house.
Yeah.
Well, it's like what do you call it? Like it's like a townhouse, but like it's a house.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the
it's
square
not
footage.
A condo.
What would the square footage of this be? 2,500?
At least.
3,000?
Well, not counting what though?
All 5 floors. It's got to be 3,000 plus.
At least.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
At least.
So you wouldn't get that typically.
No. No, not at all.
But if you have that huge house in Hollywood, though, and you think there are buses that harass you every single day because you've got the Stars tours, how do you live in a place like that? Like, especially with Norman Lear. He's 97 years old now. So it's like...
he's still alive?
Yeah.
Well,
but every day, buses.
You got people driving him around, I'm guessing.
How do you live in your own house safely and comfortably that way?
He probably... His life now is a bedroom and a bathroom, probably, and a wheelchair in between.
Stair lift.
Yeah.
Stair lift.
But he's not fat.
No.
Not anymore. Even if he ever was fat. I don't think he was, but if he was, he's not now.
Hey, here's a couple. Let's get to a couple of the emails, if we can, and a couple of comments. This was, I think I screen capped this from Twitter, or I'm not sure. Does this look like Twitter or Facebook to you, Phil? Or that could be our Instagram. We have an Instagram.
It's Instagram.
Oh, that is Instagram.
Yeah.
Here's somebody. Let me get the sound effects here because that makes the show better. Oh, no, that's not sound effects.
Hello, people.
Hold on, Phil. Why isn't that louder?
Oh,
okay.
because, yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
guys. Here's somebody on Instagram. This is in response to Humble and Fred Save Radio, Humble and Fred Save the Edge, all those hashtags. Here's somebody who said, I guess Sean had put out on our Instagram that we were rejected, and this is somebody responding to the rejection. That's a relief, they say. Hundy P since 1989, and this is the best show, in caps, you've ever done, and is the best show, in caps, best radio out there. Keep it going, guys, says Anita _Panusis.
Thank you, Anita.
What do you got over there? You got something you might want to read?
Sort of on that, it said, hey, Humble and Fred, from Heather Ann Mitchell. Really enjoying your show on Funny 820. Missed the days when you were at that other place, The Edge. So if you weren't joking about that list of demands, I support anything you do. But again, I love your show now, is what she's saying. That's Heather Ann Mitchell.
I think that's what Anita was saying. Here's another one on Instagram saying, by the way, on Instagram, we are just Humble and Fred, or just Humble Fred?
Humble and Fred, I think.
Humble and Fred? No radio on the end of that?
I think it's Humble and Fred Radio.
Humble and Fred.
Oh.
Here's somebody says, been an H&F lifer. I like that. I mean, that's a whole level. Like, you could be a Hundy P. That means you've listened to every podcast. But are you a Humble and Fred lifer? That's somebody from the early days of '89, you know.
Isn't that something?
Back in the old days when we could, you know, when Weight Watchers actually used weight.
Back in the days when you missed a Humble and Fred show, you missed it.
That's right.
That was it. It was gone. You never heard it again. You never had a chance to hear it again. Not like these days.
So this person, KND7E, says, been a H&F lifer. You guys sound happier and healthier than ever. I like that. The flashbacks from hearing Geeks That Groove, one of our original IDs. A gain on FM would mess me up anyway.
Scott Coleman says, hey, Doc, Easy G, and Fred. Hundy P here. I agree or disagree with you. Oh, agree or disagree with you. I've listened and thoroughly enjoyed every minute since the podcast began. I have to add a comment here. Musical tastes are personal, so no argument from me there, but had to smile when you were talking on Wednesday's show about music and your disdain for Led Zeppelin or Kiss or Rush, or in this case, Black Sabbath. Last year, one of your musical interlude pieces was a song called Changes, a good cover, too, by Charles Bradley, I think. Were you aware that it was a Black Sabbath song written by Ozzy and the group? Just played on a piano, so inadvertently you have been playing Black Sabbath.
That's true.
By Charles Bradley?
Scott Coleman
wrote
that.
Oh, I'm going through change. That's a Black Sabbath song?
Yep.
I love that song. I know you don't remember it.
Not offhand, I don't.
Well, it is the Big Mouth.
And
thing.
that
Charles Bradley.
In a way, that's sort of magnified. And you take a song by Black Sabbath you don't like and remade by someone else, all of a sudden you like it.
Yeah. It's like Celine Dion is singing Meatloaf.
I can see that.
There's interesting moments like that.
You hear that new act in Vegas, Beyond Meatloaf?
Wow. Oh, yeah, it's good. I like
I could
it.
do
really
anything.
good. He's really good.
Beyond Meatloaf. That's very funny.
But I won't do
good.
meat. No,
Beyond
I won't
Meatloaf.
do meat.
Music.
I was thinking
Put
of
it
you.
in your act. Go ahead.
I'm going to put it right in.
Yeah.
First time I get on stage, I'm just going to walk out and go, Beyond Meatloaf. So, do you remember this now, Fred?
Yes. Mm-hmm. No, I do, yeah.
Let me get to the... So this is this cartoon that I like. Nick Kroll, John Mulaney, Maya Rudolph, whatever her name is, and a bunch of others. Really funny. You know who'd love this series is your kids, too. My kids turned me on to it. It's... I'm not big on the cartoon comedy, but this one's really funny. It's dirty. And this is the theme from it. And I want to get to the hook.
Play the Black Sabbath.
I'm going to. Okay, so that's kind of we've established what it sounds like. Black Sabbath. Yeah, there it is. So this is the Black Sabbath version? Is that Ozzy singing? Wow. That is pretty good.
You know, there's thousands out there, tens of thousands right now going, you guys have never heard this song before? I have.
Well, I'm sure.
Where have we been?
Yeah. It just goes to show you, you know.
And it doesn't matter. Although I shouldn't say that. I'm going to contradict myself. It doesn't matter what the band. Every band has a song you might like even Led Zeppelin, we've said.
Yeah.
Maybe the odd song, but generally you don't care for them. But ABBA, no, there's nothing ABBA's ever done.
Well, no, but it's funny. I said that last week. I said, you know, there's some... No, I forgot what band I was thinking of. Oh, yeah, Kiss. Like, I can't stand Kiss. If Kiss were playing across the street, I would not go see them. But I like that song, Beth. I understand as a disc jockey that, you know, I Want to Party Rock and Roll All Night song is a good song. I get all that. It doesn't mean, same with Led Zeppelin. Going to California is a great song. Stairway to Heaven's a great song. All right,
Yeah.
Stan. Hey, Terry. Like, those are great songs, but just generally, you know, I don't...
Right. You know, they're that local band that gets so much attention, Dwayne Gretzky. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, you told me about them.
Well, they do ABBA's SOS, and I like that.
Yeah.
But I despise ABBA. That's just the way it swings,
Yes,
people.
songwriting is surprising.
Yeah.
It's like I listened to this random Australian artist, and the song was written by Ian Thomas. Our Ian Thomas. I'm like, what? No way. No flipping way.
You know, and it also depends on the version. Like, I'd never heard that song we just played by Black Sabbath, but the guy that does it in the Big Mouth theme, as soon as I discovered it, as soon as I heard it, I don't have Shazam, but I went and looked it up. I'm like, oh, I like that.
Right.
That's a cool song. You know, a lot of people, give me an example, don't like that song, or maybe thought it was too hokey. Lord's, what's that song she did?
Royals?
Royals,
or,
right.
Yep.
It was a kind of a top 40 whatever hit, and we played it on this show. But then I heard Springsteen do a version of it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, depending on who, you know, you hear their version of it, you go, oh, that's all right. This is good.
Anne Murray
Why
doing
did-
an Amanda Marshall song.
Yeah,
What?
Phil,
Crazy.
why all the hatred?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if we have time to start unpacking and drilling down into the Trump impeachment, but we should get to it at some point today.
What's there to say?
Well, this Bolton thing I find hilarious.
Well, now they're trying to discredit him.
Well, of course. He was only the national
No,
security advisor in your administration. What
No,
would
I
he know? The best, you got to go check this out. If you check out nothing else after the show, check out Ken Starr, that dweeb from 98. Check out him talking about the impeachment of Bill Clinton, and then check him out now as a fat old guy. Yeah, I said it. Because, you know.
What about Alan Dershowitz? Same thing.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Alan Dershowitz was last week.
Yeah, okay,
This is
yeah,
this
yeah,
week.
okay.
We're going to get to you in a bit there. Terry, just have a seat. But just go check out Ken Starr.
Well, I read the headline yesterday. Ken Starr punches himself in the head during his testimony. Apparently, it was just twisted and. But according to Fox News, it was brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that went after the Democratic president, again, with good reason, now thinks the rules are different because it's a Republican president. And that is really all I want to unpack and drill down
But
today.
the more I think about this, though, say they call no witnesses, the Republicans call no witnesses, and it becomes nothing more than a kangaroo court, much like any banana republic on earth. That can work to the Democrats' favor as well if they handle it right. You know, over the next 8 months, 9 months, they can keep reminding the public, like, this. Look at this government. Look what they did to you. Look what they did to our justice system.
But then try and explain it. And, you know,
I know.
I just laughed. I just clicked on Trump's Twitter feed. This is what he tweeted 7 hours ago. So at just before he turned in at 1 o'clock in the morning, he tweets Don Lemon, comma, the dumbest man on television with terrible ratings. That's the president.
What?
That's the president.
So Don Lemon must have had a very constructive
Yeah.
Conversation
or point of view last night that made the orange man uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. So that's the
Such
president.
low ratings he's
The
posted on Twitter.
Well, the president of the United States, although that is pretty funny. Don Lemon, dumbest man on television. I saw some stuff yesterday. This whole Bolton thing, just briefly, is that he actually was a national security advisor, and he if he testified, he would say he heard the president actually use the words to the. I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, yeah.
If they don't give us the money, or if they don't give us the investigation, we're going to hold the money back.
Right.
And that's really, you know, whether you understand anything else about this, high crimes and misdemeanors and et cetera, all you have to know is that the President of the United States was withholding funds until the foreign government investigated his political rival.
Right.
And that's why they don't want to call witnesses. Because they can. Here's the problem with the Republicans. Because witnesses would prove that to be true, and then they would still vote to not impeach him,
Right.
and that would screw them.
Right.
Because then the American public...
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
It would be undeniable. Because right now, even what you just said is still murky, and if you don't understand it,
Right.
you're not going to get it.
No. But that's it. Like, if it's blatantly obvious the man is guilty and they acquit him, what kind of baggage will that carry? But again, that, you know, even at that level, it'll be more clear cut. But, you know, they're going to have to deliver that message carefully and concisely and cleverly over the 7 months. They can't let it go away, or they can't let it fade, because, you know, it's going to be very important. Because, you know, his base won't care at all.
No.
It's all those people in the middle. You got to deliver that message properly.
We had a quick discussion before the show started, and I said, you know, the only way, because you were telling me that Bernie's numbers, and I'd seen this, Bernie's numbers are up. He's doing pretty well.
They think he might win Iowa and what's the other one? New Hampshire, the second one?
Yeah.
Right.
So
One's a caucus and one's a primary. There's a difference. I forget what they are. One's a caucus, one's a primary.
at the caucus. But, and I had read that Bernie Sanders within the Democratic Party is surging ahead of all other candidates. The thing about Trump last time, though, and I said this to Fred, and I just started thinking about this recently, is that Trump was a surprise last time. He took everyone by surprise.
Yes.
You know, the 70,000 votes in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Ohio that helped swing the Electoral College. Like, those people, the Americans are now on high alert. So all the people that didn't vote, that thought Hillary was just going to walk away with it, those people are going to come out in ways that they didn't last time. And that may be enough.
I know, but you want to know something? As a middle-aged or whatever I am, 60-year-old Canadian fella, I'm not sure I want Bernie to be president. Because I think he's just extreme enough. I'm a little concerned what he could do to that country economically. Which wouldn't be good for us. Because I'm going to be honest, some of the things that Trump is getting credit for, whether he's responsible or not, I'm feeling the benefits of. I am. I think you are too, depending on your portfolio and how it's set up. And I mean, really, from a completely selfish standpoint, part of me, and believe me, I'd love to see Pete Buttigieg or maybe even Biden. Bernie's a little scary to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I have nothing to say that other than I don't think Bernie's policies on the left are any scarier than Trump's policies on the right. But I don't have an answer for you right now. And
no, I'm just talking economics.
No, I get it economically. And I would say that yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would say. Maybe you're right. Maybe it would be better. I still, having said what I said before you said that, I still don't think Trump's going to lose the election. I don't. I think even though there'll be more people coming out to vote against him now than last time, because no one bothered last time. No one thought he was going to win. Having said that, I still don't think Trump's going to lose.
I think we're going to have a little, as I mentioned to you too, Stephen Harper syndrome. There was a lot of people that would never admit publicly that they like Stephen Harper,
Absolutely.
but they voted for him.
That's right.
And that's how we got majorities.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be with Trump. There's a lot of people down there that would never admit it, but they'll vote for him.
Fair enough. But I think a lot of people last time that were sort of on the sidelines that are going to come out. The Democrats...
No, that's why it's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. I don't think voter turnout is going to be a big issue for the Democrats this time, because they're going to, without even trying, those people are going to go, wait a minute. And all those Hollywood celebrities and all those left people are going to come out and go, you know what, we got to stop this guy. I still don't think it's enough.
No.
We're going to take a break. Terry Donnelly is our buddy, not only an expert in the cannabis business, but an expert when it comes to flavorful, non-alcoholic, and soon to be cannabis-infused beverages. We'll take a quick break, come back, and hear all about it. It's Humble and Fred Radio.
that you're leaving, well, that comes as no surprise. Still, I kinda like this feeling of being left behind. This ain't nothing new to me. Well, it's just like going home. It's kinda like those sunsets that leave you feeling so stoned.
Going to be talking all things cannabis with our friend Terry Donnelly from Hill Street Brewing Company in a second. But first, let's talk all things IT protection. Our friend Barb Paluskowicz wants you to go to CDN Technologies.
Yeah, cdntechnologies.com. Really, if you're getting tired waiting for your computer company to fix things, contact cdntechnologies.com. They have the answer. They can prevent you from being hacked or a data breach, all the things you have to worry about as a company, small or large. It's a continuous threat. CDN Technologies can help you with that. cdntechnologies.com. I mean, they come in and they do it quickly, too. If your current IT team is taking way too much time doing what they have to do, CDN Technologies, again, very efficient. cdntechnologies.com.
This Thursday night, join me and Toronto Mike at Sticker U. StickerU.com is where you go for all your sticker needs. They're launching a sticker museum and permanent sticker art exhibition at the flagship store on Queen Street West. It's being curated in collaboration with Peel Magazine, a sticker art mag that's galvanized the global sticker art movement. It's happening, folks. StickerU.com if you're in the need of stickers for whatever reason and whatever size. We encourage you to go to StickerU.com, StickerU.com, and then, of course, tomorrow we will announce some lucky people that are going to come along with Mike and I and hang out, look at stickers, that type of thing. If you go to our Facebook page, take a guess at the number of stickers on that wall, and whoever gets closest will be the eventual winners, and we'll do that on tomorrow's program. Let's get some headphones on Terry there, Sean. And Terry was just saying that it was like a year ago we were doing this promotion with Hill Street Brewing Company. We did this thing where we were encouraging people to go alcohol-free for January and drink Hill Street's fine beverages instead, and he's back now. He's become a friend of the show and certainly somebody that's involved in the cannabis industry. We'll tell you how and remind you, but first, let's say hello to Terry Donnelly. There he is, Terry Donnelly.
Hello,
Terry Donnelly. Terry Donnelly. He's from... Hi, Terry.
How you doing now?
When I first met Terry, we instantly bonded over the fact that he was from Regina, the big city, and I grew up in Moose Jaw. Always wanted to live in Regina, just didn't have the wherewithal. It's a big town.
I think it was Katy Perry said it's the city that rhymes with fun.
That's right. Well, when you're a boy in Moose Jaw, the first time you're old enough to realize that Regina rhymes with vagina, it really is a source of such hilarity.
Yes.
It remains to this very day.
Yeah, I think Keith Richards said, "Isn't everybody from there?"
Yeah, there you go, Keith. And of course, it's been a long time. We've known you, and then we had Hill Street on the show with us last year, and we've been keeping in touch because we're interested in the cannabis world. And how are things in the world of Hill Street?
They're fabulous. Fabulous. I mean, we just finished off a great Christmas season. We launched an entertainers pack, which is a red, white, rosé, red, white, and brut mixture. And sales 300% year over year, so
nice.
That's not a bad thing.
Is this what you put in front of us? Is this a rosé?
That is a brut rosé. It's a little bubbly rosé. It's made from a Shiraz grape, and they kind of crush the grape, but then immediately take the skins out, and that just gives it that light pink color.
And I know you've explained this to us, but briefly for people who haven't heard you on the show, the de-alkalized industry, you guys do it differently. Normally, remind me, you guys, the way you do it is you make a beautiful wine and you take the alcohol out of it.
Exactly, and there's a whole category of people that do what's called arrested fermentation, where they basically stop the fermentation process before alcohol begins, and so you lose some of the complexity that comes from converting the sugars that are in the liquid over to alcohol, and then when we take that alcohol out, it leaves that kind of tartness, that astringency that people expect from a full-bodied fermented wine, and it's also aged, so that again adds a lot of smoothness, a lot of character to it. So the wine is fully aged and finished. Then we remove the alcohol, so it's a much more complex product than something that's an arrested fermentation product.
So when you remove the alcohol, what do you do with it? Where does it go?
Well, it becomes Ciroc vodka.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
whatever this is.
Grape vodka or similar types of brands, but it also becomes an ingredient in cocktails. It becomes medical alcohol.
Wow.
Right? So
So
there's a bunch of
nothing is
uses for it.
wasted.
Nothing is wasted.
If you're watching us on Facebook or Twitch, I can tell you, I wasn't even that big a rosé fan when I drank for real, but this is really good.
Yeah.
This is really like a nice beverage, even if you're not looking for a wine vibe. It's just actually a tasty beverage.
Yeah, it's a great
Let me
beverage.
try that again. Beverage.
It's my wife's favorite,
Wow.
like soda. Like it's
Yeah,
it's
that's what I was
actually,
going to say.
You know,
this has no alcohol.
yeah, it has very few calories.
Wow.
It's like 28 calories a serving or something
Really?
like that. So it's very few calories, zero
So
alcohol.
this would be good for WW.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, if you were in WW.
And it's in fact it's endorsed by them.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I found out
One
only,
one point a serving.
The Fred man explained to me just over an hour ago. I didn't have this information. It's very recent that Weight Watchers is no longer
Weight Watchers.
using the word weight
Yeah.
in their title because they don't want to trigger people.
Exactly.
That's how weak
They're
we
going
are.
for they want to move to wellness
Okay.
versus weight.
Terry,
Right.
You're younger than Fred and I, but you're in some similar generation. This is the weakest generation the planet has ever had.
We're triggered by everything.
Because we can't use the word
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah, we're triggered by everything.
I mean, I suspected it before, but this is official now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, this is
Now
my
imagine
favorite Hill Street beverage.
having a nice glass of that and getting a little glow on from some THC.
Well, that's what last time Terry was in the fall. We talked about the government made marijuana legal in 2018, and in 2019 October, they advanced the cause, I guess, to making edibles, tinctures, and how did that affect your business?
Well, I mean, it's the main focus of what we've been doing because as much as we love the alcohol-free marketplace, it's still less than 1% of the total sales of alcohol. Whereas you have about 30% of alcohol drinkers are curious to try cannabis-infused beverages. These are people who drink a beverage that has an intoxicating effect, and they'd like to try that other beverage that's going to come on the marketplace that also has an intoxicating effect. So it's a huge, huge business opportunity for those of us that are in the alcohol-free space, because if we can figure out how to put cannabis in the beverage without screwing up that delicious flavor, then we could have a fairly winning product. You just brought it over. You can see the Weight Watchers endorsement right there.
Oh, cool.
Look at that.
You mean WW?
WW.
And if you were to drink a
WW.
bottle of that
Yeah.
with THC, you would
Yeah.
feel a lot better the next day than you would.
Yeah, there's zero hangover, zero toxicity. You can literally never consume too much because the possibility of greening out, which is the overconsumption of cannabis.
I'm trying. It hasn't happened to me yet, but
so,
I've tried.
So the possibility is like pretty much next to impossible because the volume of the liquid acts as a governor, right? Like in order for you to actually get to a level where you got so much THC in your body that you think you're going to die, you're not going to die. Nobody's ever died.
Right.
But if you think you're going to, you can feel your eyelids growing and your fingernails are speaking to you, you probably drank 15 bottles within a 15-minute period, which is just impossible
But
to
just
do.
pause that for a second. The efficacy of the delivery system. I want to leave that aside for a second because Sean, because what I think worries a lot of people.
Yeah.
Sean gave me a birthday present yesterday, and it was some edibles.
Yeah.
And it
Nice
was
guy.
fairly high THC content.
So not legal.
Were they legal, Sean? Well, but
Then
so there's
no.
a legal allowable.
Yeah.
Everything's legal on this show.
There's an legal there's a legal allowable THC limit for
Yes.
edibles.
Yes.
But just in general,
Yeah.
edibles can be a bit scary even for a veteran user like myself because of the unpredictability of them. And we touched on this last time, which is why I wanted to get to that first before you worry about greening out on Hill Street beverages. The way that edibles interact with each person is different. You might get high at 30 minutes, I might get high at 45 minutes. But as you explained last time, the genius of this is a predictability that has not been in the space, we'll say, prior.
As much as possible. As much as possible. Because, unlike alcohol, so alcohol affects you relative to your body mass, right? So as much as you weigh and as big as you are, when you get alcohol to a percentage within your bloodstream, you get intoxicated. Cannabis is very complicated because it's actually a genetic response, right? Every one of your cells has a number of cannabinoid receptors, and those receptors cause the response that you get. So you might have a really small guy who can do a huge amount of cannabis, and you might have a really big guy who can only do a tiny amount. And that's the kind of complexity that comes along with it. And then the second thing is the amount of THC that somebody needs to actually feel intoxicated, again, varies by their genetic makeup. So on average, we believe that the 10 milligram per bottle, or roughly 2 to 2.5 milligrams a serving, is going to be perfect for about 75% of the population.
And that's a fairly mild, 2.5 milligrams. Because the edibles I'm comfortable with usually are 10 milligram pieces.
Yeah, but now let me explain that to you, because
but wait a second, that stuff you gave me yesterday was 250 milligrams.
Yeah,
like I don't think that's right.
Well, it's not right.
I don't think that's good for me.
Yeah, but you think you're taking 10 milligrams, but if you're eating an edible that's been processed the same way that traditional edibles are, which is with MCT oil or medium chain triglyceride oil, what happens is that 10 milligrams goes into your liver, and 9.5 milligrams is actually expelled. So it just goes out in your waste. You only get maybe half a milligram actually in your bloodstream. And then the second thing is that the THC converts from a delta 9 THC, which is how you feel when you smoke a joint, to an 11-hydroxy THC, which is that body stone you get from an edible. It's a completely different physical feeling, right? With our product, we actually have a process that retains the delta 9 THC molecule, bypasses the liver, which is
the smoking molecule.
The smoking molecule,
yeah.
and so bypasses the liver completely, goes directly to your lymphatic system and straightly into your bloodstream. So a 2 milligram dose,
you're getting a dose.
You're getting actually 2 milligrams.
I see.
Right?
Isn't
Whereas
that
edible,
fascinating?
you get you might get a half a milligram from a 10 milligram dose. So and most of the legal edibles people find are much stronger because they use this process. There's a number of different ways to do it. Most people use a nano encapsulation or a nano emulsion technology, which has its own kind of question marks, but they use that kind of technology to increase the effect. So they reduce the size of the molecule to a nano size. It bypasses your GI, your gastrointestinal system, goes directly into your bloodstream and straight to your brain because the particle size is so small. We do it organically. We use it with a long-chain triglyceride, not an MCT, but an LCT oil that allows us to bypass the liver and go directly to your brain.
Well, let's make it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I understood some of what you said. I heard some whatever you said.
MCT oil.
But
that's a lot of figuring.
It's a lot of figuring. Yeah, there's actually like 66
So
patents
unlike
on
a
it.
traditional edible, you're not wasting 95% of it,
And
the delivery system affects you
within 5 minutes.
And that's as I said to you in the fall, that to me is the genius of it, because I can have a glass of wine with THC in it and have a similar effect to you having your glass of wine with just regular alcohol, and we'll both have a nice glow on within a few minutes, which is the thing that's, I think, the greatest breakthrough for you guys is that it will ape the effects that my friends are having in just drinking a glass of wine.
We just want you to feel it while you drink the wine.
Right. Not wait 45 minutes.
Exactly.
And then wonder, how is this going to affect me today?
The other thing as well is that when you get to that 11-hydroxy THC, that edible feeling, it lasts 8 to 24 hours.
I don't want that.
Like, who wants to make a 24-hour commitment to a beer?
Exactly.
Like, nobody.
So let's talk turkey there, my friend. What about when is this all going to happen? Hill Street Beverages. I noticed you have a different shirt on. It's Hill Ave. I can't talk about that.
You can talk about that. Yeah,
it
that's why I
says
wear
Hill
the shirt.
Avenue.
Hill Avenue Cannabis. Yeah,
I like it. When's that going to be launched?
Well, Hill Avenue
when
Cannabis.
When is this show going to be brought to you by Hill Avenue Cannabis?
Well,
I'm trying to figure out.
It can't be brought to you by Hill, but it can be brought to you by Hill Street.
Yes.
So Hill Street is our non-alcoholic brand, and Hill Avenue is the cannabis brand. And the reason why we have separate names is because the government won't allow us to market non-cannabis products under the same name as a cannabis product.
The government,
right? So
and why would that be?
I have no idea.
That's right. A great question.
One of the,
why would that be?
Yeah.
Because we're the government.
Because we're the government, and we have decided.
Have you seen this? I just keep this in front of me. It's the Consumer Information. Know the facts about cannabis. Yeah. This was written by somebody who's never done cannabis.
Clearly.
None of it.
Yes.
The government.
The person who's done cannabis wouldn't write something.
So
they wouldn't write anything.
The rules have changed.
Sit there.
The rules have changed.
Yeah.
Hill Street has been working on this. You guys are leaders.
Yeah.
When do you see this on stores?
Well, I mean, ideally, you're going to be drinking our rosé all summer long. You'll be sitting on your dock at the lake. You'll have a couple of bottles of rosé. You'll be slurping away, enjoying the weather.
I would,
You know.
My wife, I mean, she doesn't really drink, but a lot of the reason she doesn't drink is because she doesn't like the way she feels afterwards.
Yeah. No
so
hangover.
this will be interesting.
Yeah. No hangover, no residual effects, no toxicity. There's fewer calories in this whole bottle of rosé than there is in one single glass of rosé wine.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
I'm not skeptical, but remember, my whole world changed an hour ago when I found out Weight Watchers has changed their name to WW.
WW. Exactly.
So it's all new to me.
And that's why they endorsed it, is because, you're looking at on this one, this is 37 calories a serving. A typical glass of champagne is about 200.
Yeah.
Is
And
it
a
really?
typical glass of rosé or any wine is over 150.
Yeah, 150 to 180 is the average
A
glass
typical
of wine.
bottle of wine has 750 to 1,000 calories in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to sit in the dock with Doll and
And we have
see her get into that and get a buzz on.
get a nice
Yeah,
buzz
and then
on.
what?
It's also an aphrodisiac.
Hold on, Terry.
right?
And then what?
Get a buzz on.
Yeah, and then you guys go have a grown-up nap? Is that what happens?
It's an aphrodisiac.
Maybe. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
You do a little rosé and then get
No,
all...
I'm thinking, her play the bongos and sing some reggae. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah.
Hey, dog. Before dinner, you want to play the bongos and sing some reggae? Oh yeah, I do, Freddie.
One love.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea yet. It's the code words.
Yeah.
Oh, Howard.
Yeah.
No, that sounds very.
Yeah.
Well, what's the word? Encouraging, exciting.
It is exciting. One of the things you said that you didn't really articulate was, one of the problems with getting high on edibles. And again, Sean, I'm scared. I'll be honest with you. I'm scared to death. I almost want to give you that present back because I just can't imagine a time when I'm going to set aside 4 hours to be high. But, you say when you do edibles, you don't know how long it's going to take and how long it's going to stay in your system. With Hill Street product, it comes on within 5 minutes. And then how long does it last?
Lasts about 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Nice.
It's just like a glass of wine.
Well, why what Sean gave you? Why can't you just take a little nibble off the
Well, I'm
side
gonna
and
try
see
it.
what
I'm
it's
taking
like?
a little side nibble. Maybe tonight when Dan Duran's here.
But who eats a little nibble of a gummy?
Well,
My wife eats a whole bag.
Does she really?
Oh, like a real gummy.
real
I,
gummies.
I like to put one gummy in my mouth and kind of so slowly dissolve it, but she chows it down.
I like licorice all sorts. Maybe they should do them with those too.
Exactly.
It's fine. I like licorice all sorts.
Those
too.
are good.
Wouldn't those be neat if they were infused or whatever?
At Rachel's
Like
parents,
edibles?
at Christmas time, they had some. She had some licorice all sorts out on the table, and I thought, oh my god, I love these. And they were all making fun of the fact that it's like an old-fashioned candy. I go, well, I'm 100. I don't care. I like that stuff.
I like the coconut.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you could take them and take them apart. And
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Terry.
Sorry.
Sorry, Terry. Terry's like, well, I thought we were talking about my food, my booze, booze free.
So
Well-
you guys, have you tried the legal edibles?
Illegal edibles?
Yeah. Have you been to the
I've been doing OCS.
dispensary?
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I haven't bought. It's funny. I've been to a dispensary recently and just got some flour, but
Yeah.
I haven't actually looked at their selection. I was on the OCS website,
Yeah.
looking at now they have some pens there available,
Yeah.
and So what are legal edibles versus what I'm talking about?
Well, legal edibles. I mean, I always say the Hells Angels don't have a really great QA department. There's no 800 number to call and
Right.
say, hey, I'm having a problem, maybe something's wrong with this product. And that's really the great thing about the legalization of cannabis is quality assurance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can feel confident and secure to walking in knowing that the dosage in that is exactly the dosage that it should be, plus or minus 10%, which is a pretty narrow margin of error. And so, the nice thing is that most of the players in the marketplace have figured out a way to make the dosage level work so that it's a reasonable response. And you go low, go slow, try one little bite and see how that feels, and then half an hour later try it up or manage your dose as you see fit. But it's I think it's a great thing. I think there's all kinds of great new products that are coming up. I was in there and seeing chocolate bars and gummies and tea bags, and nobody's on the market with a beverage yet. But
And you
we're
guys are
excited
looking
to
to be one of the first, aren't
Yeah,
you?
hopefully in the spring.
You know, edibles are again. They kind of scare me a little bit. I don't do them a lot. I have.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the unpredictability of when it's going to hit me.
Yeah.
There's a phrase I've heard a lot recently where they talk about, you know, somebody, it happens slowly and then all at once, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing about edibles. It's like they seem to go slow and then all at once you're high.
Yeah.
But with your beverage, that's the nice thing is that you say you go slow, and whenever it hits you, it's going to be a mild effect.
Yeah.
And that's really the best thing about it is that it's going to mimic that mild one glass of wine effect.
Yeah, because you don't drink a glass of wine in one gulp. I mean, not anymore. Right?
Very funny, Terry.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a day.
So
With vodka in it.
that kind of allows you to kind of bring this on in a very luxuriating, very easygoing
And
kind of
what isn't that maybe one of the upsides of, you know, you talk about this government pamphlet or whatever.
Yeah, what does that say? Actually?
When you buy edibles through a store, you know exactly the dosage, and based on that, you could get to know what's good for you, as opposed to some buddy of yours making cookies and having no idea.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
And maybe that is actually the best part of the government getting involved is the quality control around the exact dosage.
So you know what you're doing.
Although
yeah.
I would say the illegal market's got the dosage down, but I've never taken 250 milligrams. Is that it per piece? No, or the whole bag? Is it per piece? That's too much. Isn't it?
Would sniff dogs be able to detect gummy bears at the airport? Do you think?
Terry, what do you think? Could drug sniffing dogs?
Like if you had a bag of weed in your suitcase, a dog could sniff that. Can they sniff gummy bears? Huh?
I
Not that
honestly,
I wanna
I don't know
take
the
any to
answer.
Mexico.
I just know that the way that we process cannabis,
Yeah.
the way that we process it, there's no smell and no taste.
Yeah.
There's no smell and no taste. So it's a fantastic,
Yeah.
I don't like where this is
fantastic thing
going.
because it's tastes like exactly what we want it to taste like.
Well, listen, man, always a pleasure visiting with Terry Donnelly from Hill Street Beverage Company. Check out this rosé. It's insanely good. And then, the next time Terry drops in a few months from now, hopefully we're going to be talking about where you can get their cannabis-infused beautiful beverage for your summer connoisseur. Terry, thanks, man.
Pleasure.
Okay, and we can pour me a little bit more. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll explore the idea of playing some bongos.
Thank you.
And singing some reggae
Thank
with
you.
your loved ones. Okay? It's Humble and Fred Radio. All right, fellas and women and fellas, people, human beings. As you know, Humble and Fred, so woke we don't see gender. Those are just old tropes, the old words, you know. Can't say that anymore. You just have to say, hello, human beings. Great to be with you. Great talk with Terry Donnelly from Hill Street. The world of cannabis-infused beverages is coming this summer, you know. And I heard you just in that break there talking about how it used to be, like, you don't really like to have a beer after dinner, but you might have a nice glass of cannabis-infused rosé or something. Why not?
With that.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, the older I get, it seems the beer doesn't go down as well after dinner as it used to. You know, you could have 4 or 5 beer before dinner, and maybe 4 or 5 after, you know, in the old days.
Sure you could.
And then you don't want to be sipping scotch all night, so this might be the answer for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, as I keep saying, the fascinating part of what Terry and Hill Street are doing is the idea that you can kind of dose yourself at the same rate as other people who are drinking a regular glass of wine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when when we went out for dinner a couple weeks ago, you and I and Dahl and Rachel and the Barkers, you know, you guys all had a glass of wine, I think, or a drink or a beer, whatever you were drinking. And I just had a little haul on my pen, you know, just a little one. You know, sort of a mild, I wouldn't say I was high, but I had sort of a similar, you know, buzz.
Yes.
And what they've done at Hill Street is taken that effect and they're putting it into a beverage, which is cool. We're going to talk to our friend Mika. There he is. Mika Barnes, about some of the new music he's producing, formerly with the Nylons, and he's been on the show before, and I know it's going to be weird at the beginning, like, oh, remember last time I was supposed to be on the show? But we don't do that. That's not who we are. We're not going to talk about that, you know?
What, the fact he slept in?
Yeah, it's no big deal.
And we thought he did again today.
Oh, yeah, there was a second there during the break. We're like, where's Mika?
Yeah.
This isn't happening to us twice. Anyways, Mika's coming up. So, Sean, when Mika sits down in the next 5 minutes, make sure you put the mic in front of his face. Mika's going to talk about what's going on with him. And last time we were told, Mika, you taught us to sing. I've been thinking about you since you were here last time, about the idea of learning how to use your voice, even, you know, guys like us who've been talking for so long.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
I found out, did I tell you that ex-wife Randy is she's taking singing lessons?
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to somebody like
Yes.
Mika, and she's been taking singing lessons.
And what's she going to do with it?
Nothing. Just for the sheer joy of learning to use your voice.
Oh, wonderful.
I don't know. And I said, good for you. And that's why I said to her, are you going to go and start singing karaoke and stuff? She goes, oh, no, I just wanted to. She goes and she has her lessons, and then the teacher lets her sing a song. And
wow.
Speaking of singing, who was telling us that the Sherpa can sing?
I thought he's probably listeling.
Okay. We're going to wait till tomorrow to spring that on.
Yeah.
But who was telling us that?
My doctor. My doctor is friends with the Sherps.
How freaking random is that? You're getting examined in one of your many problems.
Yeah. No, Tim brought it to my attention that he was friends with my doctor.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm talking to my doctor, and he tells me something about Tim that we did not know.
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
He's probably listening now.
I didn't mean to spoil it.
Uh-huh.
Anyway. Actually, we should be, speaking of the Sherpa.
Yes.
Why don't we talk a little bit about our Sherps?
I do believe he'll be in studio tomorrow. Tim is a portfolio manager. Raymond James, a member of the Canadian Investors Protection Fund. I think the Dow Jones plunged about 500 points yesterday. TSX takes a bit of a hit, too, because of the coronavirus. And it's amazing how a virus can interrupt so much stuff. As far as imports and exports between China and North America. Anyway, it really affected the markets. We'll see what happens today. I'm sure Tim will have something to say with that, maybe a little bit of history on how this has happened before and what the outcome was. But Tim Niblett, he is the Retirement Sherpa. RetirementSherpa.ca is how to get a hold of him.
Maybe, yes. Indeed. Yes, indeed. You're probably starting to think about getting away. We are. Fred's gone at the end of this week. I'm gone in a couple weeks. All of us recommend and use GigSky when we're traveling. You can get the eSIM. It's available for the Google Pixel 4 devices as well as the Pixel 3 and 3A. We're still using hotspots because we like them. You can get them, by the way. Go to humbleandfredradio.com. Click on the GigSky badge, would you call it?
Yeah, that's a good word.
And find out more. It really is something. You could you get the physical SIM. You can also get the hotspot. Find out more at gigsky.com or go to humbleandfredradio.com and find out more about GigSky, our highest recommendation. For gosh sakes. Okay, let me get back to where I was here. Mika.
That is right. Mika?
Yeah.
Right.
I've got it.
Yeah, we weren't 100% sure.
Bowie.
That type of thing.
Remember that fight?
Yes. And how did that end?
He died.
No, Bowie, right?
That's right. He died.
It was Bowie.
That was the end. Bowie?
Yeah.
Was it Bowie?
David Bowie.
I don't know. I was so busy defending Mika.
Right.
Here's a little Mika Barnes music, everybody.
When in Spain, for reasons I don't explain, I remain enjoying a brew.
Mika Barnes, formerly of the Nylons, and a guest with us a while ago. Good to have you back, my friend.
Thank you.
And I know, listen, people sleep in. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
I really appreciate that. My mother was even mad at me.
Was you really?
Sir, get to work on time.
Yeah. Well, we don't mind.
Thank you.
But
You're gentlemen.
we're so we just think everyone's out to get us.
Yeah. No, I thought that personally while I was dreaming.
Yeah. If you hadn't shown up today, we'd have thought, what does he have against us? He purposely didn't show up.
Sleeping in my bed thinking, screw Humble and Fred.
Oh, yeah. We were thinking that. We were like literally about to go on a Humble and Fred hate rampage.
Oh, yeah.
Which is legendary.
This sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like it.
I'm just thinking a little Hill Street infused wine with my wife. This in the background.
That was the idea.
Hey, Howie?
I love this music, and I listen to a lot of it. It's funny how this music is timeless. And I want to talk a little bit about the Great American Songbook. And my daughter is 25 years old, and, it's weird how she has a real love for this, older music. And I always wonder, what is that,
Mm-hmm.
We were listening to Seriously Sinatra on Sirius XM, and I said, I'll change it if you want me to. She goes, no, I like this.
Right.
I'm like, really?
Yeah.
My kids have it on their playlist, too.
The younger you get, the less good music you actually get to hear. So your ears are hungry for content, right? Doesn't mean that the new music that comes out isn't exciting or interesting to kids, but it doesn't have the depth. So if you're a smart kid, you're going to gravitate to the stuff that's the classics.
Isn't that interesting?
Why do you say it doesn't have the depth? Why do you say that?
We've let the machines take over.
Okay.
And there was and that's okay because the music feels timely and contemporary to ears now.
Mm-hmm.
But say you listen to an Ariana Grande record. She's a fantastic singer, but it's so produced, so worked out. You're hearing a record as opposed to a singer and a song,
Yep.
So for our ears, because we came up at a different time in music, we're listening for the singer, and what is she talking about? And the kids are like, ooh, it's cool the way this happens. And they've got a different kind of focus in their ears. But you listen to a Sinatra or an Ella record, or like the people that I came up on, and probably you guys too, early rock and roll was like that too. It's instruments and a voice and a song. And so the older I get in this business, the more I lean on the things that really, really don't die.
What current artists would you say have depth?
I think in jazz, I don't think you'll ever get over Diana Krall's classic records.
All right.
But I mean, maybe your question, what about current music?
Yeah.
Do you hear like this Billie Eilish? Is that a singer?
Or Adele?
Adele, of course.
Right. Well, it's interesting you guys talking about Billie because she's got a fresh sound, right? If she came in the room and sang, we'd probably go, ooh, interesting. But 5 songs in, grown-ups get bored. The kids are still, oh yeah, that's cool.
Right.
But for us, we're like, okay, well, what's going to happen next? You know, like we're waiting for more.
I think an artist that I really like, even though I've never seen him in person, is Bruno Mars. I think that is somebody who has a sort of an ageless talent.
I agree. And I think whatever era it was, he's like, to me, he's like Bobby Darin. Like, he's like, give me a song. I'm going to sell that song. You know, like that kind of energy in the room.
I'd love to go see him, but have you seen the ticket prices? Yikes.
But he's somebody with like uncommon talent. Whether you like the song itself, you sort of have to appreciate it. Yeah. My other daughter came over, Spencer, who's 22, on Sunday, and she said, "Oh, because we have the Hey Google," and she said, "I'm making dinner." She said, "I hear her say, 'Hey Google, play Sarah Vaughan.'" I'm like, "What?
Oh my goodness, that's
Sarah Vaughan?"
Yay.
And then we listened to some Sarah Vaughan, and I was like, just again, both of my girls grew up in around music with us and stuff, but they really like. They seem to like older styles.
That's great. So I got some tickets for the CD launch to hand your girls. That's the way we do it, right?
Well, by the way, When in Rome was what I played. It's Mika Barnes' latest, and it's available. It's the second straight Mika Barnes single to go to #1 on the iTunes Canada Jazz charts.
Can you believe that?
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm trying to speak. Wonderful.
I thought it was wonderful, too.
Hey, here's the thing. This is going to be weird, but I saw our friend Stephen Page was out doing some solo work.
Yeah.
And he was promoting it on Twitter on the weekend. I saw he was playing it. And then he puts a clip of, saying, "Hey, I'm going to come out and you'll hear some old Bare Naked Lady songs." As a member of the Nylons, do people come to see you and go, "Hey, could you play?" I mean, it's kind of hard. There's just one of you.
You know what? Thank you for bringing it up. Because, when I first came home from Los Angeles, I was like, I'm going to only play my own songs, man. Like, this is my time, right? Right. And Molly Johnson put me on the road as the opening act across the country, right? First night, I'm singing all my original songs. I look out at the audience, and I'm like, this is Nylon territory, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we toured 80% of the time in the States, but in Canada, wherever we went, we were embraced as if we were the Beatles, right? Mm-hmm. So the next night, I put in a couple of covers, Up on the Roof, 2 Silhouettes on the Shade, Mm-hmm. And I watched the audience, and I felt them go, oh, #1, thank you, because that's my memories of a group I love. You're my guy. You're my voice from that group, and you're giving me what I came for. Now, great. Now, what's that original tune you have?
Yeah.
And it was great.
Why does that happen sometimes? Bands will tour and they'll do a concert doing very little of what the people came to hear. I don't know that mindset.
Yeah, can I be honest?
How do you expect to get anything but a negative reaction?
I think it's ego.
Yeah.
When I was with the Nylons, we had the opportunity to open for some of the greats. I will name check one.
Yeah. No, give us a few. This is what we love in the show.
Yeah,
people that have met famous people.
Well, that's why I'm here. Mm-hmm. So, okay, I'll give you the biggest disappointment. Okay. We were almost at contract to do 6 weeks with Aretha in Vegas, which I would have done for free. I would have brought her the coffee, watched the show every night. Come on, right? That would have been a masterclass. The one that we did get to open for a period was Gladys Knight. Gave us a masterclass every night in how to entertain the crowd, give them everything they came for, show up being exactly what they paid their ticket price for, right? Yeah. But also gave the new songs.
Yeah,
from
but if
her
you're
new
going to see
album.
Gladys Knight and she does a new Midnight Train to Georgia, you're like, well, what?
Yeah.
What? I love that.
That's
Why
right.
don't you do that?
And that's how she became Gladys Knight, because she knew her audience and she knew what we wanted.
Mm-hmm. So back to doing a Nylon song.
Sure.
Again, you're out as Mika Barnes. You want to promote yourself, and this is your time, as you say. But it's almost like the audience goes, okay, thanks for that. Now I'll relax.
Yeah.
And I'll just see what you're up to.
Right?
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and listen, if we're not taking them on a ride that they can't get anywhere else, why are they coming out to see us with all the different entertainment options? And you just stay home. You don't need to go to a concert. Mm-hmm. So I think it's very important to know your audience and love them.
Well, good for you. You're born in Vienna, it says here.
Yeah.
You're a jazz guy. Do you, having listened to a lot of the jazz lately, there's a duo I like called Shannon and Keith. There's just a woman and a man on a guitar.
Right.
and they're young, and they just cover all these old songs. They can't be more in their early 20s. He's a virtuoso jazz guitarist, and she's got that Zooey Deschanel kind of voice.
Great.
And I listen to them, and I think, something about this music that's 80 years old still resonates with them, and they cover it so nicely.
Like, remember Tuck and Patty did a voice and guitar thing? They were label mates of the Nylons back in the day. One voice, one guitar. The simplicity of jazz ends up being something that people return to as they get older, but it starts young. Listen, when I was 12, my mom gave my stepfather a Billie Holiday record. She said, take a listen to this. And I thought, did my brain explode? Here's somebody who's singing the best songs in the world, interpreting them with this depth of feeling and intelligence. I was a Bowie freak. I was listening to Lou Reed. I thought Iggy Pop was cool, right? And then suddenly, bam, and I was in Harlem in 1944, and my life changed forever. I started learning the standards right then
Is
and
it hard to sing those songs because they're so familiar?
For me now?
Well, in general, but as an artist now, when you crack out whatever, an old Benny Goodman or a Gershwin tune, we know it so well.
Right.
We're like, what can you do?
This is where starting as a teenager helps. I was too dumb to realize that everyone had already sang Body and Soul, right? So I just went, Body and Soul, I'm going to learn it. And you dig in, and you don't even compare it. You're not thinking, I better do my own version. I was just so hungry for it. So by the time I was actually performing, the song live, I kind of ingested it and synthesized it and made it my own.
How often do you perform?
A lot. I'm actually going on the road across Ontario in the spring when the record comes out, so April, May, June. And then in the fall, I'll be doing a cross-Canadian tour. And then we go to Europe after that. So a lot.
We're all getting older. Are there songs...
You might be getting older. I'm weirdly getting younger.
I just got older last week. It's strange. I'm a man in my 60s now.
No, are there songs you used to be able to sing that you can't sing now?
There's the secret of being a voice coach.
Really?
I get up and I got to teach somebody to get their full range every day, all day, and into the night. So if my voice isn't in good shape, number one, I shouldn't be doing that job. Number two, if I'm teaching, I have to know how to keep my voice supple and working. So I really believe in technique. It's one of the things that was drummed into me by my betters, and I work it. My technique is better today than it was 10 years ago.
I sometimes will hear, big famous rock stars on the Howard Stern show and talk about preserving their voice and having to sing that style of music. And he often will ask them, like, if that's what you do for a living, why would you ever, damage your vocal cords or smoke cigarettes or drink excessively? But part of what you do as an artist to take care of your voice is you have to watch yourself all the way through the day in terms of eating and drinking and things like that, don't you?
Well, you know what?
I don't know.
It kind of depends on how your metabolism works, right? There are some people, they look at a piece of chocolate or cheese and they can't, my voice, and they can't sing. That preciousness is exhausting to me, I will just say. I'm one of those weird people that could kind of eat anything, drink anything, and, back in the day, do anything and get on stage and have a great time. So it depends how you're built. Some people are a little bit more sensitive systems.
Recently I was reading that Aerosmith controversy or somebody in the band or whatever. And they're going back on tour, and I'm just looking at Steven Tyler, and I think, how does he do it?
Right?
What's an Aerosmith concert like now? There's no way he can get to where he used to. I wouldn't think.
But we saw him on the Grammys just the other day. He's hitting the notes, man. So here's the thing: there are some. Rock and roll is like opera. You have to be built a certain way to be able to pull it off, right? If a young dude walks into my studio and he's got that kind of pipes and he has a rock and roll kind of personality, I'm like, yeah, you just won the jackpot. Or if they're a classical kind of person, which I don't teach classical singing, but if someone with that aptitude walks in, it's almost the same level of to be a rock and roll star and to be an opera star.
You need a certain kind of... Well, I mean, look at Jagger's 76.
He's delivering.
And he's still singing those songs. I mean,
but
maybe
he doesn't
it's not...
scream like Steven Tyler.
No, you're right. There's certain... But yeah, I mean, up until recently, Ozzy was out there screeching
That's
those
right.
Black Sabbath.
If you got if you got those chords, if you're built that way, like you can't tell me that some gospel singer doesn't have chords of steel, right? That's what those.
Mika was when he was here last time, and we were reminded by our producer, who has a memory we don't. He said that you taught us we did some singing exercise.
Yeah, how's that going, guys?
Great. We can't remember, but I would tell you that I have thought of you from time to time because he and I both sometimes will be clearing our throat before the show starts, or I won't. So I just noticed certainly that certain days I can access my resonance, and certain days I can't.
Oh, you almost sound good on the radio, man.
Yeah, but we've got some processing.
It's the microphones.
Well, no, it's true though.
Really?
Like we have some process on our mics, especially. But do you know what I mean? Like certain days you sort of have access to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever feel that? Like starting out in the business, sometimes I would be like, I don't have the full body range because I'd be uptight.
Yeah, nervous.
But I was never as conscious of that stuff as you were.
He's more of a perfectionist.
Yeah,
you just kind of fly by the seat of your pants.
Well,
whatever came out came out. Right. But
to my detriment, by the way.
Well, it's interesting that what you're talking about though, because your living is your voice, right? Of course, there's going to be moments where you feel uptight about it, but in all honesty, like first of all, you guys always sound great on the air. And so I wouldn't worry about it. But if you do a 5-minute warm-up, honestly, just do some breath and a little bit of vocalizing and kind of get to know where your voice is that day. It's probably enough for speaking on air. You know what I mean? Because you're not trying to hit high notes or,
Well, I'll tell you, there was a while back last year, every morning I brought a little bit of yogurt. I shut that down. Seriously.
It's phlegmy for you, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to stop that.
And I thought heroin was a bad idea.
Yeah, it can be. Especially
Do
if
you still have yogurt in the morning or not?
I still have a little heroin every morning. Yeah, I do still have yogurt every morning.
Yeah, but that affected me, so I stopped.
Speaking of food, before are you do you eat meat or are you vegetarian?
I'm a meat eater, sir.
Excellent. Well, when we have beautiful, let me just get some. Where is it? Humble and Fred music. Hang on.
I'm going to eat meat this morning?
Wait a minute. Wait for it.
Not live on the air.
No. Well, here it is. Here's the Palma Pass. You'll love this.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
From our friends at Palma Pasta, Palma's Kitchen, there's a beautiful lasagna.
What? Oh, I remember this. Mike told me that we would have this. Is great.
No.
You guys. What is this? Open it there.
You don't have to open it. It's a beautiful frozen lasagna from Palma's Kitchen.
There's dinner with your mother. Mom, I'm bringing dinner.
Hey, Freddie, now that you can order Skip the Dishes, Palma Pasta through Skip the Dishes, I think, so you can really just get Italian food, but just through takeout. You know what we say? Pasta la vista, baby. Thank you very much.
That's fantastic.
Mika Barnes, hang on a second or two. We got to close the show. Thanks very much to Terry Donnelly from Hill Street Beverage Company. Always a great conversation. Thanks to Mika Barnes, the new single, When in Rome, I Do As the Romans Do, on iTunes Canada. And Mika, you can follow him all the places that you follow people, right? Is that
awesome.
true?
Yes, you can. I am everywhere at
Mika
once.
is everywhere, and of course we're back tomorrow. Phyllis, for you people want to hang out with us, there's more at humbleandfredradio.com.
Yes, cette edition of Humble and Fred Radio is brought to you by FYI Music News, The Retirement Sherpa, Gig Sky, The Chambers Plan, Palma Pasta, CDN Technologies, and our newest sponsor, Sticker You, where you can get your stickers on Queen Street or order anywhere in the world. We broadcast to the planet from the worldwide headquarters of the Humble and Fred Show. More Humble and Fred tomorrow and online at humbleandfredradio.com.
All right, Mika's still here, and then we're going to send you on your way. I want to play you something, though.
Cool.
Sometimes when I go to sleep, I will listen to music. Sometimes I also listen to, as my girlfriend Rachel calls it, porpoise sounds.
What? Porpoise sounds?
Well, she bugs me because I will sometimes just listen to waves or ocean meditation music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or sounds of, she says, it's always, whenever she can hear it, she's like, is that porpoises?
You're a creature of nature.
No, exactly. She goes, are you going to put on your porpoise music tonight, honey? Anyway, but I started listening to these kids. I just Googled one night at bedtime, I Googled acoustic jazz.
Oh, these are these guys you were
These are
talking
these
about.
kids. So this is a young woman and her friend. I don't know anything about them, but their names are Shannon and Keist.
It's not the pale moon.
Nice.
Isn't she good? But it's listen to this kid play guitar.
Yeah.
Just give it a second.
That thrills and delights me. Oh no, just the nearness of you.
So some of the songs they do, A Foggy Day, they do Cheek to Cheek, Ain't Misbehavin'.
Isn't your sweet
They can't take that away from me. The Way You Look Tonight. These kids, their combined age might be 45.
I hear a little Judy Garland there.
And a little bit
Yeah.
of Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
You know
Right,
that
she has
Zoe.
that warble.
Yeah.
The Judy warble.
Yeah.
oh,
Well, that's sweet. See, this
Yeah.
is there's a downside to us being able to access all the music in the world,
Yes.
right? Suddenly, I have to be on the road to get paid, but we can discover brand new artists, and like this world of youngsters doing old time music is heaven.
And producing it in their bedrooms.
Well, yeah, and Mika's
Okay.
right. Like, you know,
Yeah.
these two kids, you know, they're not getting signed. I mean, maybe, but you know what I mean? They're not. It's not like when we were all starting out. You'd go to a record company, had to release your music. They released this on their own.
Yeah.
And you know, if you look at the number of the listens they have, it's pretty impressive. I don't know how you do that.
long I wondered could
Anyway, thanks for coming in.
A pleasure, gentlemen.
You're a nice
and I got
man.
lasagna.
You got lasagna. You got the whole thing.
And
on.
it's delicious. You know what's good about that lasagna? If you're having guests,
Yeah.
put it in one of your own sort of dishes and claim it's yours because it tastes homemade.
I came here to lie, to learn about lying and
Yes, you
cheating.
did.
Oh, well, this is the place.
This is it. That's right. What I used to say to you: lie something and deny.
Right.
Lie, cheat, and deny. No. Anyway,
Hey, that's the other side of the border.
Yeah.
you're a good man. Thanks for coming in. And if people want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
MikaBarnes.com's got all the info.
Very good.
Great to see you guys.
Thanks, brother.
We're going to continue talking. Sean, get a picture of Mika. Thanks, my
Yeah,
brother.
pleasure, gentlemen.
Pleasure.
Have a great
Couple
morning.
more minutes.
Lovely to see us.
Good
to see you.
There we go. That microphone.
wondered could this thing last. But the age of miracles it
All right. Yeah, sometimes I listen to. I like waves when I go to sleep. Sometimes.
Waves.
Yeah,
Like
the sound
waves
of,
crashing
yeah,
against.
the way.
Oh.
I also another one I listen to is rain. Will help me go to sleep.
Really?
You know the sound of just a nice rainy night. You must be
Yes.
at the trailer where you get those beautiful summer's evening where you light rain.
Oh, yeah. But see, I have no trouble falling asleep. So even if I put that on, it would be. I don't know if I'd hear it. Like
Well,
it's
some
ridiculous.
nights like the other night I went to sleep. I literally halfway through the first song, I
Well,
was
that's
gone.
great. It works for you.
Yeah, crazy.
Fantastic.
I rarely ever hear the second or third song. The other night I put on Donald Fagen. I don't know that song, IGY or whatever it's called. And I literally got halfway through it. And I'm like, headphones are flying around.
Sometimes if I get in bed and listen to music and then fall asleep, it's amazing. Like wake up 3 hours later and it's still playing in your ears.
You know, I've done that. Because I have earpods, the Apple earbuds they're called, Phil?
AirPods.
AirPods?
Yes.
And so they're fine on your back, but as soon as I turn on my side, they sort of dig into my ear.
Yeah.
But I've had that experience where I've like
See you, Mika.
Thanks, Mika.
Okay, buddy.
Nice man.
Very nice, man.
You're a
Come
nice
back
man.
someday.
Yeah. We were so
Okay.
close to hating on you. You have no idea. We were revving up the hate engines. We were. We're just that kind of guys. We're fucking bad people. Seriously, we were just literally, we plugged in the hate machine. 5 more minutes and we were just going to go, oh yeah, if this was breakfast television, he wouldn't sleep in twice.
And that's the way the Edge rejected us, eh? They loved our idea. It's just who came with it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, just stay legends, okay?
They had a
Just
meeting.
stay-
Yeah. Thanks, Mika. They had a meeting. They said, well, we could get Humble and Fred back, but they're hate.
Yeah.
They're hate machine.
And of course, that question, the new question: how are they in the halls? What are they like in the halls?
Can you imagine if we went back and worked at a radio station and somebody said, hey, you've got to come back tonight for a scavenger hunt. We would just literally quit at that moment. We'd go, yeah, well, here's our resignation.
I'm busy looking for something right now. Yeah, I'm doing the scavenger hunt. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be you guys.
That would be us
I know where to
now.
find
Say,
you.
listen, we're going to do this. We're going to go. You guys should scavenger hunt for a new morning show. Yeah, we were getting ready during that 8:30 break. Before Mika came in here, I could just feel it. We were both like putting some gas in the generator, making sure.
Where is this guy?
Where's this guy?
Is he going to stand us up for a second
That's right.
time? Where is the respect?
Yeah, no respect. This was breakfast television. These words were said. And we were just plugging in the hate generator, getting it fired up, making sure the spark plugs are clean.
Nylons, they're polyester.
And then he came in and we had to shut it down. We had to shut it down. I was trying to find this thing I put aside. Now I can't.
What is it?
Well, this thing about are you a picky eater? I thought we might have some fun with that, but now I can't find the fucking thing.
How about this one?
What?
Don't masturbate with banana peels, doctor warns. Now, when I first read that story, I'm thinking, does that mean a woman masturbating with a banana? Because it's the same shape as a penis.
Is it? Really?
Have you ever noticed that?
No, I didn't.
But anyway, I read this story, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh, it's not good for a woman to use a banana to masturbate with. But it says, when it comes to self-pleasure, men will utilize just about anything to help them get their rocks off. However, some doctors are advising against using banana peels to aid in masturbation. The latest internet craze when it comes to masturbation for randy young men is to stroke their penis with a banana peel wrapped around it. Jeez. Have you ever heard such a thing?
No. But then I'm new to the WW thing too, so it's all new to me.
According to one Reddit user who's been doing it for years with a banana peel, it's the closest thing to oral sex.
Is it?
However, in an interview with newspaper Dr. Diana Gill of Online Doctor, said they don't recommend this because it could lead to rash and sores on the penis, which can be painful and might lead to infection.
Rash and sores.
Rash and sores.
Rash and sores.
And it could get worse if you have an allergy. So, I mean, I was just so taken aback by that. I thought one thing, and then upon further investigation, it was something else.
Yes. Have you ever fucked a banana, Phil?
Oh, gee. I wish I had a banana that big.
I don't. What does that mean?
I find the comparison.
You have have baby carrot of bananas. That's
Basically.
what you have.
Yeah, it's been cut down at some point in a factory somewhere. It's bleached now. But the thing, there's an uncanny feeling between bananas and penises because when you think of the types of bananas out there, Asian bananas are pretty small. If you take a look at them.
Yes,
and
they
yet
are.
Regular bananas are pretty big. So I was so fixated on that comparison that I forgot that you can actually do that with a peel.
Okay, good talk, Phil.
You're hung like an Asian banana.
Sean, have you ever had sex with any kind of
fruit
fruit or maybe some warm?
No, a friend of mine just actually got out
bread
of the
pudding?
hospital last week for potassium overload. So
Really?
I'm wondering if this
What's
has
that
something to do with it. I don't know.
Oh.
Bananas are filled with potassium.
No, I know, but
So
how would that...
I don't know how he got it. I don't know how you get a potassium overload.
How old is your
but
dad?
My dad. He's turning in 2 days. I should probably get a gift. Thanks for reminding me. He's turning 67.
Your father's 67?
He is. 67. 1953. Yeah,
Yeah,
67.
Wow. That's crazy. Well, here's some bad news about your father. He's still, when Mom's out at the WW meeting and you're not there, he's still up there whacking off to something.
Wank watchers.
Seriously. Yes, your dad's whacking off. Just know it. Just embrace it. Don't know. And I guarantee you would not want to see his browsing history, but your dad's whacking off. 67-year-olds, they do it.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing on his phone all the time.
Well,
It takes
whatever.
forever to press those buttons. Right?
I just realized, I did this bit a couple weeks ago. I was at the comedy thing, and I said, I realized that I'm going to be 60, and I figured I started whacking off at 12, so I'm about to approach my 50th year of whacking off.
That's a big anniversary.
It is. It's my whacking off anniversary. But I guarantee you, your dad at 67, he's past 50 years of whacking off.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
The kid doesn't want to think about that, Howard.
I know that. That's why I'm not using you, because we don't want to involve you in whatever you're up to.
And your present
your
is
bongo
comfort.
drums.
I've
and
never
your,
in my life.
I know, of course.
Never in my life.
All
I've
right.
never needed to.
No, of course.
Nope.
You haven't needed to.
Never,
Well, you're the
ever.
only man.
No.
You're the
I've
only man
never.
who never needed to whack off.
I've never in my life done that.
Well, I'll tell you
Because I've
what.
never needed to.
I feel bad for you, because it's great. I do. I feel sorry for you.
Not
It
even
really is
religious.
the greatest thing.
No excuse.
Listen, he is an angel. He's like a.
It's got nothing to do with being an angel. I
What does
would
it
if
have
I
to do with
needed
it?
to.
Really?
I
You
need
don't.
to.
Wow. That's like saying I'm needed to eat. Good for you. That's why you're so skinny and sad.
WW.
It's sad. Especially sad.
But anyway, for the rest of us, including your daddy, who's 67, just say that to him. Hey, congratulations on your whackiversary.
Yep. It's been a long time. Wow.
Your dad too, Phil.
Of course, why not?
Exactly.
I know
Well,
doubt about that.
Yeah.
Well, someone has to.
And I
know
love when
that.
people say that. Well, I don't need to whack off. I got a girlfriend. They're two different things. One's sex, and one is poison control. Seriously.
It's like whenever they do
No, it
scientific
is.
studies,
Whacking
right?
off is not like, oh, I have to have sex. It's like, I got to get this poison out of me.
Like when they have a poll with women, it's like 90% of women admit to, masturbation.
They do.
It's like,
What
of
they
course.
do.
Where's the other 10% then? What do
Seriously,
they
if you
do?
were a woman,
Phil.
Phil, if you were a woman, how could you ever leave that alone?
That's true. In 2001,
Seriously.
they said 40% of men admit they masturbate. But what about the 60%?
They're
that
lying,
don't?
Phil.
You get what?
Well,
yeah,
except for me.
Pinky.
Do you like that? Pasta la vista? I heard that the other day. I heard that the other day as a comics bit, and I thought, I can't wait to tell Freddie, because he will love that. Pasta la vista, baby. Anyway, I guess that's it. Do we have anything else to do?
Well, don't we want to entertain Terry some more?
Yeah. Terry's loving this. He's like, hey, I can't wait to get involved with these idiots.
This is the podcast extra, Terry.
Yeah, Terry, this is different. I wonder if there's a place on our... Yeah, this part we can swear.
Yep.
But we don't.
Yeah, we had another great story for you all, but we can't really tell you. I was thinking we could tell this story on the podcast extra about the whole second half of the Edge, Save the Edge part, but we can't really. It's too bad. Maybe one day we'll tell you. Just another great episode in the Humble and Fred library of nonsense.
It's just amazing. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, it is amazing. Here's a tweet I just saw.
The people in control are just something.
And the people in control of this business, they've given.
And you know what? That's not sour grapes, and that's not two old guys who are bitter. It's just the reality of it. It really is. And you know, it's not their and those people, it's not their fault. It's the people that put them in that position. Like
we could talk about the fact we have a troll on Facebook. That's cool. We had
cute.
It is cute. It's really cute. We have somebody that just really hates us.
It's like we spoke about American politics, specifically Trump, for 4 years now, and then all of a sudden this person pops up.
Yeah, and then the thing is, we're not even sure if she's real or not, but it's just hilarious. Like, every time we start talking about Trump now, this person who apparently is in Hamilton, if that really is her profile with another woman...
I've been trying to dig, but
yeah, me too. I've been digging around,
creeping
a little bit.
I mean, if you're telling us we can't talk about American politics, why do you have the right to?
Hey, here's some good feedback for you, Terry. Somebody's saying, Randall Wood on Facebook says, I eat edibles, and this guy is very interesting.
Yes.
That's you.
Yay.
See, you're not getting trolled. Anyway. No, you're doing fine. So when we both asked her to come on the show and talk to us, but she won't.
She just stopped talking
because it's probably not a she. It's some guy with a pseudo sort of thing.
And we've had that before. Someone to hide things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. Like it's...
Yeah.
Everyone's got a comment online, that's for sure.
But then you try to tell them to kind of show off or show themselves.
Even if I'm on TSN online or Sportsnet, and you'll read a story and that's interesting, and then I don't even know why they bother allowing comments anymore.
Yes.
On those stories, because it's just ridiculous. Every name is some made up goofy thing, and every response is vicious.
Right.
But then again,
like the horrible, rotten, personal things they say about people. It's just anyway.
But then again, look at Twitter or look at something like Trump. Like that's the comments you want to read.
Oh,
you
no,
know what
no,
I mean?
no.
It's
Oh,
not
I know.
like that. Like
No, I
comment
understand
sections.
that.
You
Hey,
don't want to
great
get rid
point. Go.
No, yeah, but Twitter is different. That's what that forum is.
Yes.
If I'm on Sportsnet.ca and I'm reading about Kobe Bryant or something, the comments don't really need to be there.
No.
But they have them for whatever reason, and they're just rotten.
I think they have them because to not have them is also saying something. It's a signal to the trolls that you don't have the whatever, you can't withstand comments. But speaking of that, one of the things we've talked about Trump, if you go and look at his Twitter feed, which I do, the comments are, what'd you say, 80%? Easily overwhelmingly negative. And this is one of my favorites. I was going to mention it earlier in the show, but this is from a woman saying, imagine if a woman president got on Twitter every morning to complain about people being mean and unfair to her.
Yes.
She would be known as weak, hysterical, shrill, bitch, unfit to lead.
Great point.
Absolutely the truth. He's such a fucking baby. But imagine if a woman was complaining about being unfairly treated.
And he'd be the first one to make that accusation.
Absolutely. He's a dick. Oh, man. Anyway, it's all confusing. It's
But
all
you know
confusing.
As much as I despise him, I've said this a million times, I despise more the so-called intelligent people that support him. I find them more disgusting.
Yeah.
Again, the Hannitys, but even, not even those profile people, other people that you think have some degree of intelligence that support him. It's still think he's okay. I find that very aggravating.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe before the revelations of all this stuff, but after 4 years of it, how do you support a guy like him?
And if he'd had just shut his mouth.
That's right.
Yeah, well, here's apparently...
really.
He got mad at Don Lemon, but it was actually not Don Lemon that was making fun of him, which is also funny.
Really?
Yeah, it's somebody else.
Heart that Donald Trump couldn't find Ukraine on a map if you had the letter U and a picture of an actual physical crane next to it. He knows that this is, an administration defined by ignorance of the world.
So
which is true.
That was the joke, but it was Trump. So Trump goes on and goes, Don Lemon, dumbest man on television. Grow the fuck up. If Donald Trump was my kid, I'd say, hey, I don't think this is the best way to react when people attack you.
Yeah.
And so...
And Don Lemon, that's the problem, is Don Lemon is losing his shit.
That's partly him playing to their base and playing to their audience, the credulous boomer...
That's why he got mad at Don Lemon, because look, Don Lemon can't stop laughing. So I'll play it for you again.
On Ukraine on a map if you had the letter U and a picture of an actual physical crane next to it. He knows that this is, an administration defined by ignorance of the world. And so that's partly him playing to their base and playing to their audience, the credulous boomer Rube demo that backs Donald Trump, that wants to think that Donald Trump's a smart one and y'all elitist or
So that's why he's mad at Don Lemon, because Don Lemon, how dare you laugh at me, said the president.
But all aside, Don isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer.
That's okay.
That's right.
As far as those guys go, he's an alright.
He's a television presenter.
Yeah. But further to that, people go crazy, his supporters and Trump, on CNN fake news and everything. All that stuff, everything that guy just said is true.
Yeah.
They're not making that up.
No.
It's not that there isn't any proof. They're just reporting the reality of the man. But that's fake news and everything. Meanwhile, over on Fox, they present it like he's a normal, functioning human being. That's the fake news.
That's scary.
Take that, our troll.
But it's nice to have a troll once in a while. It means someone's listening.
Yeah, exactly. It's good for someone to get all... But they listen. They don't want to crank up the old Humble and Fred hate machine. That fucker will get you. All right, we got to go.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil, for all you do.
Darling.
Shawnee will not be in tomorrow. Shawnee's got an important day. We're excited for our baby boy. And thanks to Terry and Mika and all our friends. And tomorrow is Humble and Fred Thursday.
Hump Daily.
Today's Hump Day.
Oh, I guess Hump Tuesday part 2.
Tuesday. Oh, and Dan Duran live in studio.
Ooh.
All right.
Maybe.
What do you mean?
Well, I think we embarrassed him today.
Oh, because, yeah. Well, we'll get to the bottom of why.
Yeah, we will.
Tomorrow on the show, why Dan hates the fat.
destination.